Welcome to Coaching Uncut, a special series on the Unstoppable Woman podcast, where I take you behind the scenes and give you a peek into the private coaching I do with my clients. All of these coaching calls have been recorded with the permission from my clients who have generously allowed me to share these with you as a way of helping more people in this world. They give you access to master level coaching and the opportunity to learn the lessons that they're learning right along with them. Please keep in mind that these recordings are not studio productions and the audio quality may be less than ideal, but the content will take you far and help you become unstoppable. With that, listen in and learn. In this episode of Coaching Uncut, we're looking at how, when you're not in a full yes, when you haven't decided on the goal you're going after, it makes the choices that come up in day-to-day life on how to spend your time incredibly difficult, sucking up your energy, sucking up your time. Instead, decide, then figure out the key strategies that will get you there, and then be disciplined about executing on them. It's not complicated, but it does require you to claim your desire, decide it's going to happen, then execute. Be disciplined in that execution, even if no one has done it before. We didn't have an airplane until the Wright brothers had the desire, decided they were going to do it, and then executed on it, had the discipline to do the work. We didn't have a light bulb until Edison did the same thing. And certainly Michael Jordan didn't break all those records until he did the very same thing. He had a desire, he decided on it, and then he was disciplined in executing on the strategies. Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't do it. And with that, listen in to this episode of Coaching Uncut.
So what are we talking about today? How are you doing? What's the context?
Yeah, so last night, I was finding some quiet moments to work on, visualizing. And then that just turned into me kind of free-form journaling reflections currently, going through my mind and, trying to self-coach myself around, certain things that were going through my mind that were definitely leaving me feeling like I was, going in circles and, falling out of heaven. Nothing like horrible had happened, but here are some tidbits just to bring you into my head, which is, I was having these fleeting feelings throughout the day about and getting hooked by, but trying to keep it at bay around this whole notion that others know how it's done. It's whatever it is, right? And this whole thing is like, I don't know how to do it, that I missed the lesson, all that sort of negative noise, which we know where it's coming from. So at least I saw it, and I saw it for what it is, which is that old pattern cropping up. So that, seeing that helps me to keep it from totally taking me over. However, I didn't feel like I was able to completely transcend and feel uber positive. I just prevented myself from going uber negative. Other things was, and
did you congratulate yourself for that? Did you praise yourself for that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I said, oh, really great, but I was like, okay, that's good that at least I'm noticing this.
Yeah, good.
So, I definitely had that awareness. And then I tried to shift myself into, okay, like, what is it that I want? Again, just more broadly, I was thinking in terms of what I'm doing professionally. And I didn't want to get attached to the title or this or that in that moment. I was like, at its basic forms, like, I want power, I want authority, I want respect, I want to feel needed, valued, sought after, all those things that are already in, most of which are already in my, beliefs and the recording that I'm listening to. But I kept coming back to, and this is another thing, and it might have been informed by the fact that I was watching the rest of The Last Dance over the weekend, the Michael Jordan thing.
Yeah.
And so I wrote down, I said to myself, but do I really want it badly enough? And I said, here it is Sunday evening. I did spend time earlier in the day on completing this job description for this new role that we're creating on my team and this new hire that we're going to get that's going to be really good. And that was something that needed to happen. And I felt really good about it. And then the rest of the day, I kind of outlined all the other things that I did because I wanted and needed to do it on the home front, including decluttering. And then I wrote, and I find myself avoiding logging back onto work. I'm better in the morning when I'm fresh. But my point is, I was sitting there feeling like, I don't know how to decipher between, I'm feeling tired or like it's raining and I don't want to go on the run, if you will, metaphorically speaking. And is there like a legitimacy in not wanting to get back on and slog through more stuff? Or am I just like, is that evidence of, if I was Michael Jordan, I'd go back to the court and practice even after the game. Are you following what I'm saying? And so this is where, this is where it kind of fell apart, because then that led into, and I won't belabor it too much longer, but that led into a whole spiel, if you will, where I wrote, what's my fear? I don't want to be on, quote unquote, 24/7. I want time to be quiet. I want time to rest, to read, to reflect, to create, to be present with my family. I want all of that, and I want great earning power. And then I wrote, aren't those things mutually exclusive? It feels difficult. And then I said, it feels difficult to imagine and visualize something I've never seen a model of. There's like a million things all wrapped up in here. And obviously I'm still spinning, but yeah. So that's where I'm at.
So here's the thing. You have to decide on a few things. Right now, you can't be successful because you haven't made decisions.
Right.
And so it always starts with, like, what do you want? And you go to, well, no, I don't see anyone who does that, so it must be impossible. So you have to, excise that initially. And, you have to get intentional about, like, I want this, and I want this, okay? And then you need to back engineer what the disciplined areas are that are required for that. Michael Jordan, I'm going to say something that might be a little controversial, but he might not have had great emotional intelligence. Right. I mean, I paused there because he was a great leader and he did it well on the basketball court. Okay.
Right. No, but I know what you're saying.
But there are places where that's not his forte. Okay. But in the area of basketball, he decided, I want to be the best. How do I be the best? This is the discipline. Okay.
Right.
And so for you, you want this and this. How do I be the best at that? Okay. And it probably is not working all weekend long. Okay.
Right.
But it's also probably not working. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to figure out what the discipline is. Such a huge piece to this puzzle.
Right.
If you figure out what the discipline is that you need and you stick to that, you cannot not succeed.
Say that one more time.
If you figure out the discipline that's required, the choices, let me say it differently, the choices that are required, the actions that are required to reach your personal goal, not the goals of a neuroscientist, not the goals of a basketball player, not the goals of a fine artist, but your goals. Okay? You figure out what the actions are that are required to get that, and then you design your life with that in mind and you stick to it, you will succeed. It's not complicated. And it's fascinating how our brains get into confusion around that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I know you're listening to this and you're going...
So you mean I'm not the first one to be this confused?
No. So, I mean, here's the thing. There's so much at play here within what I just said, because we want uncertainty, we want difference, we want change, we want a certain amount of, something new. And all of that's true, and you need to get that from someplace else, right? And you need to pick the 1 to 3 things that you do consistently with discipline for your life and for your career. And the challenge herein is that you start thinking really big, and you're like, well, I have to work out, and I have to not eat so much, and I have to, right? And then the list becomes 50 things, right? And then you set yourself up for failure. Right. So this is a really powerful activity for you to think about, like, I'm claiming what I want. What are the actions that are going to get me there? And then how can I distill that into a handful of rules that work for me? And then not deviate, not come up with frigging excuses.
I think the other thing that was creeping in that's still lurking, and maybe this is just my habit of, changing the goalpost and all that, but it was more like, do I want what I say I want if it comes with some of these things that I don't want? I think that's the thing that gets me stuck. Like, okay, I can say that I want power, yes, I want authority, let's call that being the head of HR. But that also comes with, kind of on 24/7. When I say on, like, I don't mean you're literally working 24/7, but that you've got to be ready to jump in and respond at any time, potentially. You've got to be, you got to strike the right pose. Like, it's not, you can't, iconoclast is the wrong word. So it's like there's a certain political correctness that you have to be adhering to, like stuff like that. And I'm just sort of like, oh, do I want that? And that's where it came in, the whole, well, can't I do it my way? Well, I haven't seen anyone do it my way. Well, you could say you'll be the first to do it your way. Okay, like that's intriguing.
Make your decisions.
Yeah.
Make your decisions.
Right.
Yeah. That's your homework assignment.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us for Coaching Uncut. If you loved what you learned today, please leave us a comment and let us know. We always love a thumbs up or a 5-star review, so thank you in advance for that. And if you want to take your life and your business to the next level and it's time to scale, please reach out to us and schedule a consult at theunstoppablewoman.com/next level. So that's theunstoppablewoman.com/next level. See you in the next episode. Rock it out and be unstoppable.